Okay, so I'm in the middle of doing some cable management and trying to get rid of some of the uglier features of the wiring in the FX4100 build. And so I've got all this ketchup and mustard stuff in the case, and I'm wanting to make it better. So it's not that difficult. First thing is you need a little tool like this. And that slides over the connector in the Molex, and you just slide it on in there until it fully covers that metal piece, and that releases the tabs, allowing it to slide out of the plastic connector. And of course this one's being a little bit stubborn right now. Try again. There. Okay. And you just do that with each of them. As I said, it's not difficult. The most significant part of it is getting a hold of one of these tools, and they're not difficult to find. There it is. And the sleeving is not difficult to find. Now this one was sold as carbon. I see it as more of a silvery color. Might call it a gunmetal. About the color of my wife's car, in fact. Not as happy with that as I would like to be, but it's what I have, and it's better than the ketchup and mustard. So, first thing to do is get a sense of exactly how long I want it to be, and you can do that with any ruler. I just happen to have one that was made by Bill at mnpctech. You've probably seen some of his videos, but we'll do this and just see just how long I want these to be. Now I don't want the sleeve to go all the way from the metal to the connector, but I want it to be close. And so 6 inches might be a little bit long, probably 5 3/4 would be good. So that's what I'm going to shoot for on these. Just make 4 pieces, 5 3/4 inches long. Now some people will tell you to do this with a hot knife. I haven't found that to be necessary, but it does require a little bit more care when you're not fusing the ends. Once I've got one, it can be the standard for the rest of them. So, once you've done that, you also want some shrink sleeving. And that's about twice as long as it needs to be, so I'm just going to cut each of these pieces in half. And so that's enough for one end of each cable. Guess I need a couple more of these. So, just cut them in half. So now I've got my 8 pieces, piece for each end of each sleeve. and it's really easy to slide it on. The hooks on this are working in your favor, not going to obstruct you. And so if you need to, you can do this to get it started. Usually you don't. Like that. Just slide it on up. Do the same with each one. And once you have those on, just go ahead and put 2 pieces of your shrink sleeving on each one. And right like that. And one more. Right like that. Now, I want to show you something about the Molex connector. If you've been around a while, you know that these were part of the earliest days of computers, and you've probably hated them as long as I have. But if you look in there, you'll see there's quite a bit of room around the wire. And that means you have room for the shrink sleeving to slide right on in there. So I'm going to allow that to set my depth for my shrink sleeving. Some guys will do this with a match or a cigarette lighter. I have a tool in my toolbox that I like to use instead. And in fact, it is why I have my heat shield there. So, you can tell what it is. It's a heat gun. Now what I'm going to do is take this one at a time, set my sleeve length where I want it, and then just shrink wrap right down to the end of that metal connector. Now, various ways of holding it in place. You don't want to burn your fingers, so I would recommend a little pair of pliers. Some flat nose pliers can work real well for this. Won't crush anything, just hold it gently in. Now, you don't want to get the heat to them, so just one at a time, right where you want it. Like that. Now, after I've put all the connectors back into the Molex connector, then I will finish it up with just a little bit more heat and finish the job of shrinking those down. I'm going to do these ends first. that. Now, with the sleeving being held in place, you come down to this end, just slide all of these in. Just slide all of those in, like that. And okay. So there's the other ends. Now the next thing is you want to make sure you do get the right color in the right spot, and you can see that one's red, that one's yellow, the other two are black, and so you just put them back into the connector in the right place. And it's helpful to have one at hand to use as a reference. So if you don't have it memorized, you see the beveled edges, and the red is on that side. So beveled edge, that one's red, just slide right on in. And then two blacks. And the yellow, right like that. Okay, so now what I have here is a Y cable. Done the same thing to it, just added an extra touch of an extra sleeving holding the two cables that are the same color together. And so, once again, what would you rather have? Ketchup and Mustard or the sleeved set? I think that this looks better. So there you have it. Something else you can do.